Dan Lanning, what are you doing, my man? This is what Joe Milton should have done. Rolling to the right, acting like he's going to pass and jump. You got to do that. You got to hit that. Put your foot in the ground and cut. Stick your head down. Whew, what a game that was. Give me a second, guys. Let me shut this real quick. Got to hurry up and do this because I'm trying to watch other games. Auburn LSU's playing. As we all know, we get a big-time game tonight. USC the Trojans and arguably the worst defense in the nation. Well, actually, that might be Colorado. USC is the second worst defense in the nation. We got no other than Notre Dame. But that's besides the point. Clap it up, man. The Oregon and Washington game, it over-exceeded my expectations. I thought it was going to be a great game. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, a 9 out of 10. It was a 10 out of 10. And you know we got to talk about it. And also, we're just going to give you the 2-for-1 special in this video because I don't want to break them up. Also going to talk about Tennessee and Texas A&M. I was drawing a blank there. As much as I want to talk about Oregon and Washington, let's get this Tennessee and A&M one out the way first. That was arguably the sloppiest game in the SEC I've seen in a while. It reminded me a lot of like an Iowa versus Rutgers Big Ten matchup where you spent 3.5 hours watching it and you're like, yep, I wasted my time. Sort of how I felt in the A&M Tennessee game. I don't feel like I wasted my time. I'm just saying that to give you a perspective. But my point is, sloppy football from start to finish. The final score was 20-13. A&M, their defense was okay. What shocked me in this game was Tennessee. I did not think, where's my phone at? Oh, here it is. Guys, I didn't think Tennessee was going to be able to run the ball that efficiently. And what that goes to prove to me is Alabama's rushing attack maybe is just that bad. Maybe it is because Tennessee, I can't believe they ran on that A&M front seven. Granted, A&M, they didn't have all their pieces in the front seven. They were suffering some injuries in this game. But Tennessee, just off the top of my head, I'm going to assume they had, 200 rushing yards? Because think about it, Joe Milton didn't even play that good. And they won this game. And if you're a Tennessee fan, you got to be feeling pretty good about that. Hold on, where are the rushing yards at? Where are the rushing yards? Yeah, guys, Tennessee had 237 rushing yards. And Joe Milton was 11 for 22. Not good, 50%. 100 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. If I were to tell you heading into this game that Joe Milton was going to be 11 for 22, only 100 passing yards to be exact, 1 touchdown, 1 INT, you had thought Tennessee lost by 14 points at bare minimum. But they somehow won this game. Wow. Tennessee's defense, they played good. A&M's offense, well, it's A&M's offense. Max Johnson, 2 interceptions, 2 costly ones at the end of the game. Where do you go from here if you're an A&M fan? Man, where do you go? And honestly, kind of felt like Tennessee should have beat them worse than what they did. Tennessee, they messed up multiple opportunities in the first half. They could have had way more points. You could say the same thing for A&M. That was just a huge and sloppy game. Sorry, guys. I don't have too much to say about the Tennessee game. I predicted Tennessee to win a close one. That's what happened. I predicted Tennessee to see some rush success. The only thing I was slightly wrong on was I thought Joe Milton was going to play better. That would concern me because I don't want to say, I was going to say wishy-washy, but as up and down as Jalen Milroe has been for Alabama and as much heat as Alabama fans give Jalen Milroe, Joe Milton, he deserves to be thrown to the fire. This guy is 32 years old. He's been playing college football. This is now his 7th year. He's got 2 mortgages. And he's still making dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision. And the one that sticks out the most to me isn't the interception. Was early in the first half. It's 4th and 2. They got to roll into the right. And dude just walks out of bounds. It's 4th and 2, buddy. You got to throw the ball. And as soon as he walks out of bounds, he throws it, but he throws it. It didn't even have a chance. I don't know what. I would love to know what he was thinking on that play. Now, me, myself, back in my prime, moved to whiteboard. You know what I would have done on 4th and 2? This is what Joe Milton should have done. Rolling to the right, acting like he's going to pass and jump. You got to do that. You got to hit that. Put your foot in the ground and cut. Stick your head down. Just like I used to do in 7th grade PE class, but that's besides the point. Joe, man, you got to play better, man. There's no way you're going to beat Alabama. No way if Joe Milton plays the way he did today. No way. You're not going to run for over 200 yards on this Bama defense. No way, unless you break off 2 crazy 80-yard rushes back-to-back or something. That just ain't going to happen. I was shocked about that. But at the end of the day, congratulations, Tennessee. Clap it up to Tennessee. Now, last but not least, I got to hurry, guys. I want to get back to watching this USC Notre Dame game. They got Oregon and Washington. Dan Lanning, what are you doing, my man? I get playing aggressive. I love it. I'm all for it. But it came back to bite you in the butt. My granddad told me growing up, Matthew, you keep playing with that fire. I always like messing with fires. He told me, Matthew, you keep playing with that fire, it's going to burn you one of these days. And guess what? Dan Lanning in this game got burnt. He kept playing with fire, kept playing with fire. I just can't. And even going for it the first 2 times, I thought they were risky, and I probably wouldn't have went for both of them. But I understand it. But the last one, you're winning. It's 4th and 3. Come on, man. What are you thinking? Punt it. Pin them back on their own 5 or 10. You use that, midfield? Pin them back to the 15-10. Make them go 90 yards. And if they go 90 yards, you just tip your cap to them and say, well, our defense sold me. Now, even at that, because we saw what happened, they didn't get it, and the next 2 plays, I know what everybody's going to bring up. Well, Matt, the next 2 plays, Washington, they scored a touchdown. It took them 2 plays. So going for it really didn't matter, because if you would have pinned them back on their 10, they still would have scored. I understand perspective, but you also got to understand this. It's much easier to call offensive plays when you're at the 50 than your own 10. And also, it was a momentum shift. Same thing like we talked about in the Bama game earlier, in the Colorado-Stanford game. When Washington stopped on that 4th down, when I was watching, I felt this way, you felt this way, everybody felt this way. Yep, it's only fitting that Washington goes down and scores a touchdown. It was just a huge momentum shame. I feel like if you would have punted it, Oregon probably would have won that game. And as we all know, whatever, that didn't happen. Washington, they stop them, they score a touchdown. Everybody's like, oh, well, here's the problem with that. They stopped them a little bit too early. Or my bad. I said they stopped them a little bit too early. They scored too early. And they kind of did, because left Oregon and Bo Nix some time. And he marched them down the field, had it easy. I'm calling it a chip shot. It was a chip shot. It was a 42, 45-yarder. Lined up perfectly. And he just pushed it to the right. It doesn't get any easier than that. I get it, it's a high-pressure moment, but that's an easy chip shot field goal. And I hate it for the Oregon fans. I hate it for Bo Nix. I hate it. I was rooting for Oregon in this game. Not too sure why. I just found myself rooting for them. Maybe it's because I picked them to win. Or maybe it's because I felt like they deserved to win the game and they outplayed Washington. And their coach just made stupid decisions time after time after time and put the players and put his defense in bad positions. Maybe that's why I was going for Oregon. I just found myself rooting for them. And I didn't care if Washington would have won at the end. I just wanted to see the game to go to overtime. I didn't want us to be sitting up here talking about, man, I can't believe they didn't get that 4th and 3 and then they missed a field goal. It's just, I don't know. I wanted to see overtime. Same thing with the Colorado-Stanford game. I didn't care who won as long as that kicker at the end made the field goal, because I like seeing overtime ball because there's really no excuses. The better team more times than not is going to win in overtime. It is what it is. Congratulations to Washington. They got a heck of a team. And Oregon, I did pick Oregon to win, like I said. I still think Oregon has a heck of a team. And you should have won the game. But at the end of the day, it came down to this. Washington made more clutch plays. And that's all there is to it. I really don't have too much more to say. I do want to pull up the box score. I'm not going to write anything down on the whiteboard because, like I said, I'm trying to get back down there and watch the games. But let's pull up the Oregon box score real quick. Oregon had 541 total yards. Washington had 415. Oregon outrushed them. Oregon outpassed them. Oregon did everything better. More first downs, more everything. And even in this game, I thought Bo Nix was the better quarterback. I thought he outplayed Michael Penix Jr. Now, that's not to say Michael Penix Jr. played bad. No, he played good. I just thought Bo Nix played a great ball game. This is one of those games, as a person who doesn't have a horse in the race, it was awesome to watch, but I just hate seeing a team lose. I wish both of them could have won it. Now, here's the interesting part. What if Oregon wins out? Is there like a chance they can still sneak back in this thing? I don't see why not, but I just felt like you had to win this game to get into the playoff. This felt like the playoff game. Washington, I don't really have too much to say about them because they are what I thought they are, or they are what I thought they were. Great offensive team, not a great defensive team. I was just more shocked with the Oregon defense, especially at the end of the game. 2 chunk plays like that. I thought the Oregon defense was going to be a little bit better, and that's why I picked Oregon to win. I guess not. Heck of a games. Awesome game. As a football fan, watching these, if you don't have a horse in the race, you can't ask for a better game. I love watching games like these where I don't have a horse in the race, so my blood pressure, it gets high, but not as high as if Alabama's playing in these games, because it's at all-time high. There's many more things I could say. I'll leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts down below. But